back for pack number 3. We have here Extractor Demon is a rare. It's a fine card. It's a 5/5 flyer for 6. It's never bad per se, but it's also pretty top heavy. Demure Signet seems very attractive for this deck because we have so many 4-drops and we're so slow in the early game. It's the perfect Signet for our purposes, obviously. Accelerates us into our important stuff. Seems like a pretty easy pick to me. Another Grizzly Spectacle, but I probably don't want to pick up any more of those. Another Pilfered Plans, which don't know how deep I want to go on that, but it's an option. I want to pick up some creatures in this pack as well. We have lots of good spells, but not many good creatures to take advantage of all our value, like Unburial Rites, Momentary Blink. So hopefully we'll get that in this pack. Falcon Wrath Noble's fine. It's not at its best in our deck. This isn't a very good pack for us, unfortunately. I guess it's Falcon Wrath Noble. I'm not happy about it, but I'll probably play it. Even though I don't want to play any more 4-drops at this point. I would rather have some 2- and 3-drop creatures to finish us off. Sin Collector is kind of sweet, but the 2/1 body is not very attractive to me. Also, the mana cost is not very attractive either. I'd rather just have the light white splash of like the Blink and the Unburial Rites and be otherwise straight black-blue if possible. But there's not really much better for us. There's like a Tandem Lookout, which I think is just a little too slow, given that we have to wait till like turn 5 to pair it up to something that can attack, and then, you know, 2/1 body is just so bad in this format. Cower and Fear, but I think I don't really want to take too many more instants and sorceries. I'd rather have creatures. So I guess it's Sin Collector. It goes well with all of our value cards, even though I don't know how good it actually is going to end up being in this format, but alright, I guess we will go that way. I like Seagate Oracle. It's a pretty good blink target. It's a good defensive body, gives us something to do. Forbidden Alchemy is kind of sweet in our deck. It kind of fights for slots with the Pilfered Plans, but it is better than Pilfered Plans, I think. It's also pretty good with Pilfered Plans, so I suppose I'll take it. We're kind of like a weird control deck without any win conditions, so that's cause for concern. Azure Mage is also pretty good. It's cheap. The body's not very good, but late game it can provide us some value. Problem is the activated ability costs 4, and if we have 4 open mana, we're very likely to have something else to do with it, so I don't know if that's where we want to be. I'd rather have a defensive 2-drop than this. Wall of Frost is looking a little valuable too, but it's not too hard to get those. Bone Splinter is also looking not very spectacular in this deck. We don't have very many creatures. Probably not going to play it. Aether Toe is really expensive. Mystical Teaching is also really expensive, so I don't know, man. I don't really want to play Shimmering Grotto, but there's nothing else for me. I guess I'll take Aether. I'm not going to play Aether Toe. I'll just take the Shimmering Grotto and we'll see what happens. Gnawing Zombie number 3. Don't know how many 1/3s for 2 I really want to play. It's not even that good of an ability in our deck. But there's nothing else for me, so once again, Vampire Aristocrat maybe is just better, even though I don't really like it either. Alright, Augur Bolus I will actually play. Golgari Signet's also kind of attractive, even though it's off color by 1, just for the acceleration, but Augur Bolus does actually seem pretty good in this deck. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 spells for it to get, assuming we play all of them. So this is 23, but there are definitely some cards that I'm not thrilled with in this deck. Funny enough, I would kind of like something like an Extractor Demon in this deck, just to give me the ability to win. in the late game, something bomby. We don't really have that. We're kind of just hoping to get there with, dorky Mist Ravens and Moroi and Slave Driver value. Spectacle number 4, probably not where I want to be. Pilfer Plains number 3, similarly, not really either. So I don't think I'm going to play any of these, sadly. I guess I'll take a sideboard Spell Pierce, but I can't really see a situation where I'd want this. Nothing for us here. Ooh, Cower and Fear came back. I might actually play that. Cower and Fear number 2. Alright, that's good to have. At least we know we aren't going to roll over to like Dragon Fodder deck. Although I guess we're not too worried about Dragon Fodder anyway. So I have to make one cut. I'm looking at this Recover, probably the worst card of the bunch. We've got plenty of card advantage already. What just happened? Why did it cut all my main deck cards? That was weird. Let's get all of these in here. One Cower and Fear. Momentary Blink we're still going to play, I think. $23. Alright. I guess this is the deck. I'm just really concerned about our ability to win the game. We've got plenty of ways to keep ourselves alive and, draw cards and all that, but if our opponent's playing like a removal-heavy deck, we don't really have a good win condition per se, so that's a little cause for concern, but I don't know, I guess this deck's doing some sweet stuff, so we'll see what happens. Let's figure out our mana base. I can get away with probably 1 Plains, just for the backside of Unburial Rites and the front side of Momentary Blink. If we mill the Momentary Blink, we won't need to worry about the white for that. So if we hit it with like a Pilfered Plains or Forbidden Alchemy, that would be nice. And Unburial Rites in our hand doesn't require any white, so similarly it sort of mitigates the issue. So I think 1 white we can get away with. Don't need to play the Shimmering Grotto or anything. 6, 8, 1. How much blue do we need? Not very much. We do need double blue for the Mist Ravens. We've got the Azorius Guildgate. Some of our card draw is also in blue, so I would maybe like to bump this up. Just go like 8, 8, essentially, because of the 2 Guildgates. So this is 8, 8, 3. That math checks out, right? Yeah. Let's quickly sort by color, because I know we have the triple Grizzly Spectacle as well. Yeah, we're pretty heavily skewed towards black. Maybe I just want to trim on a blue, but these Mist Ravens seem like they're going to be important also for keeping us alive, but they do kind of come down at the same time as the Grizzly Spectacle on the other hand. It's close. Maybe I want to cut the Plains. Is that an option? Oh, I forgot about the Sin Collector too. We do kind of need to worry about our white mana, don't we? So I don't want to cut down on Plains. I think with the Pilfered Plans, I'm more likely to want just an even split. Even though we're skewed more towards black. This Vampire Aristocrat isn't looking particularly good in this deck either. But I don't see anything I'd rather play, so... I guess it's good with the Falcon Wrath Noble, I suppose, even though we don't have that many good creatures to sacrifice. Okay. I'm just going to submit this deck. Don't know if we built this correctly or if we drafted correctly, but I don't know. I think our deck can do some sweet things, so let's just go ahead and take it into round 1.